Hey everybody, it's me, Timmy Flowers Guy, and I want to come on here because I needed something to do right now, and right now, as you all know, I've been saying that I've been going through some personal issues in my life. I don't really want to divulge what those are because I don't want to put it all out there on social media or YouTube. So it's something that I need to keep to myself because it's just something I don't want to broadcast here on YouTube. But while I'm just going through these personal issues in my life, I've decided to do something that would help me cope with those issues I've been having, the problems I've been having. And I made the decision to do something that I wanted to do for years. Something I wanted to do for a long time. And that is writing my Philadelphia Flyers narrative. And I wanted to do this because usually when something happens in my life, the best way that I cope with something is writing a narrative. And I feel like that it's really helped me get through these personal problems in my life. And I'm going to show you that narrative that I just did. So, it took me a little bit to write this narrative, but here it is. And I started writing this a couple of days ago. On Thursday, I started writing this. Then yesterday, before I went to my doctor's appointment yesterday, I wrote a little more, and then I wrote some more last night. And I finally finished it. And I'm glad that I was able to do something like this. I really think it would have been a great video to do. Especially now that the Flyers season 2025-2026 Flyers season is just around the corner. And preseason will be starting up in September, and then October. I'm really excited about the season coming up, and I really wanted to do this. And like I said, with the personal problems I've been going through in my life for the past weeks, I thought this would be a good idea to really take my mind off of everything that's been going on in my life. And I was glad that I thought of the idea to do this. And I'm going to show you the narrative. It's going to be read in AI because if I try to read like a long story, I kind of get out of breath. So for that, I'm going to have an AI voice narrate my Philadelphia Flyers narrative. Without further ado, my Philadelphia Flyers narrative.
Philadelphia, a city with a blue-collar attitude and the city I was born in 1986. Before coming into this world, there was a hockey team capturing the hearts of many citizens of this die-hard sports-crazy city. In 1967, a visionary named Ed Snyder had a brilliant idea to bring the sport of hockey to the city of Philadelphia. Although the team struggled in the beginning, good times were just around the corner. In May of 1974, the Philadelphia Flyers won their first Stanley Cup and ended up having a repeat in 1975. The Flyers tried to go for a third straight Stanley Cup in 1976, but were bested by the Montreal Canadiens. In 1979 to 1980, the Flyers had a huge chance to win the Stanley Cup as the Flyers took on the New York Islanders. Unfortunately, due to a controversial call in a very crucial playoff game ended up costing the Flyers. Although the Flyers forced overtime, a bad offsides goal broke the hearts of the Flyers and many Flyers fans. Many years later, in the 84 to 85 season, a young goaltender, Pelle Lindbergh, who was from Sweden, quickly became a household name and impressed many by making saves that were absolutely mind-blowing. That season, the team was full of rookies eager to impress the Flyers organization. The Flyers had reached the Stanley Cup Finals and their opponents were the Edmonton Oilers, an absolute juggernaut of a hockey team led by superstar Wayne Gretzky, a man I truly respect. Although the Flyers only won a single game in that series, it looked like the future was bright for the Philadelphia Flyers until one tragic day in November of 1985. The Philadelphia Flyers goaltender Pelle Lindbergh had been in a tragic car accident. Lindbergh was hospitalized and his brain function was completely shut down. The city of Philadelphia was in shock and disbelief. Many Flyers fans thought it was a bad dream, but the reality was that Pelle Lindbergh was in bad shape and, unfortunately, the life support had to be shut down because it wouldn't be fair to keep him alive, and the fact he would no longer be able to play hockey again was just too painful and upsetting. Pelle Lindbergh officially passed away, and the city of Philadelphia was saddened that their hero was gone. American, Canadian, and Swedish flags were held at half-mast at the Spectrum, paying their respect to their masked hero. Many rookies on teams saw Pelle Lindbergh as like a second family member, and it broke their hearts knowing that Pelle was gone. Following this, the Flyers had a hockey game to play. In an ironic twist, their opponent was the Edmonton Oilers, a team they faced in last season's Stanley Cup Finals. The Spectrum had a sellout that night. The Flyers faithful paid their respect to the Swedish sensation. Not just the fans, but former Players Hall of Famers, broadcasters like the great Gene Hart, head coach Mike Keenan, public address announcer Lou Nolan, and Pelle Lindbergh's hero and longtime mentor Bernie Parent. In the beginning of the game, the Flyers were down early until an unsung hero named Darren Jensen, a call-up from Hershey, put on an epic performance that had Pelle Lindbergh smiling from heaven. The Flyers rallied behind Darren Jensen and honored Pelle with a victory. In the 85 to 86 season, the Flyers made the playoffs with a late-season victory over the Washington Capitals. Unfortunately, the Flyers were eliminated in the first round at the hands of the New York Rangers, despite a good showing from Flyers goalie Bob Froese. On December 8, 1986, I was officially born, and my parents were Donna and Chris, and during that time I was just a baby and had no knowledge of the Flyers until I was about 5 or 6. Me and my dad would watch the Flyers on Prism, and I also remember going to my first Philadelphia Flyers game at the Spectrum. My dad loved Flyers hockey just as much as I did and still do today. In 1992, my Aunt Lynn bought me a Philadelphia Flyers VHS called 25 Years of Pride and Tradition, a VHS that taught me everything about Flyers hockey. When I watched that tape, I learned about the legendary goaltender Ron Hextall, who won the Vezina Trophy in his 1986 to 1987 rookie season, in which his team was so close to hoisting the Stanley Cup. When I was young, I was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I knew absolutely nothing about it, but when I got older, I learned more about it, and it progressed to the point where I lost my ability to walk. It was tough, but Flyers hockey was there to inspire me. In the 90s, my favorite Flyers were Eric Lindros, John LeClair, Mark Ricci, and Michael Renberg. I was always excited, and I always looked forward to a game, and I loved it. There were many fun times to be a Flyers fan, whether you were born in the 70s, 1980s, the 90s, the 2000s, or the 2010s. There were so many great moments, from the opening to their new arena in 96 to the epic 2010 playoff run and beyond. Being a fan had some ups and downs, but it was worth it. Many years later, my father passed away in 2016, and it felt like a piece of me was gone, and I didn't want to believe he was gone, and I got to the point where I didn't want to be a fan anymore because the loss of my father was too painful, but I know my father would want me to carry on my love for Flyers hockey. I have met so many great fans over the years, and it could take me many days to list all of them, but I want them to know that I love and appreciate them. The most terrifying year of my life was 2017, where I ended up struggling to breathe. My mom tried her best to resuscitate me, but I got to the point where I ended up at Jean's Hospital and then in a facility from 2017 until 2018. I wouldn't have been able to get through it without the prayers of my friends, my family, especially my wonderful mother for getting me home, and I also can't forget about the wonderful staff at Jean's at the facility, and also Philadelphia Flyers hockey. Many years later, the Flyers were in the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs, which was the last time we saw them make the playoffs, and it was during the pandemic. The only times they showed peaks of greatness was in 23 to 24 and 24 to 25. I know it's been a long time since the Flyers made a playoff appearance, but the organization is doing everything in its power to make this team better, and I believe they're building something great, and hopefully one day this team will hoist their third Stanley Cup. I love this city. I love my team, and I love being part of this fan base. I would like to dedicate this to my father Christopher Sulak, my wonderful mother, not just her but my whole family and my friends, and of course the wonderful nurses that take care of me, and also Ed Snyder, Oscar Lindblom, Philadelphia Flyers past and in present, the many Flyers Hall of Famers that paved the way for future players, and also the Philadelphia Flyers fan base and hockey fans that are fans just like me that love their teams, and also the lovely Mira Monroe, the woman that touched my heart, and Wayne Gretzky, a man I truly respect. I cannot wait for the 25 to 26 season. Let's go Flyers!
Well, that is it for my Philadelphia Flyers narrative. I truly hope that each and every one of you enjoyed that story of mine. I wanted to do something that came from the heart, and I thought that doing a Philadelphia Flyers narrative was the best thing for me to do to cope with the personal problems I've been having in my life. And a lot of things in my life have been changing. We're doing a lot of changes in my life this year. I have to tell you that 2025 has not been a kind year for me and my family. I'm not going to say why, and I'm not going to put it out there on social media or broadcast it on YouTube. It's our personal business, and I just don't want to put it out there. And I wanted to do this video to help me cope with those problems and cope with those changes. Because, you know, in my life, I'm a guy that I'm not good with change. I'm not. And this really helped me cope. And I'm happy that I got to do this. I've been a fan of this team my whole life, and I just wanted to do this to show my love for the team and show my respect to every hockey fan that has a dream in their heart. Hockey fans, it's sometimes just like me, may struggle in their lives, and they have problems in their personal lives, but sometimes they don't want to tell. Because hockey fans, whether you're a Flyers fan, or whatever fan you are of any hockey team, you know that sometimes we have struggles and hardships that we gotta go through. Not just as a hockey fan, but in our regular lives, off the ice as well, in regular lives, at home as well. And this, I know a lot of hockey fans can relate to something like this. If you love your team, and you're a big fan of your team, I suggest you do what I did and write a narrative about how much you love your team and all the memories you share. To tell you the truth, I don't know what I would do without Flyers hockey. I'd probably go crazy without it. And this year, 2025, kind of makes me want to go crazy, but I can't because I have to stay calm. I have to be calm. I have to be strong. And I have to continue to do what I do, and that's cheer for my hockey team. Cheer for my hockey team. Support my city. And share my love of the game with everybody that I know. Hockey is a big part of my life, and it will continue to be a big part of my life. Because in a way, life is kind of like hockey sometimes. There are days we hope to get the good bounces. There are days that we hope that we can go out there. There are days that we hope miracles happen. There are days that we hope if we have time to we can celebrate with our friends. So in a way, hockey is definitely like life. Sometimes things don't go the way we want. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just like in life, just like in hockey, life kind of works the same way, if you think about it. And I gotta admit that if 2025 was a person, I'd like to punch her right in the face. Because 2025 has been a really good year. I gotta admit it's not been a good year. And I can't wait for this year to end. This year to end because 2025 absolutely sucks. That's all I gotta say about that. But writing a narrative doesn't suck because writing this narrative really helped me cope. The changes and the personal problems I've been going through in my life. Guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy my Philadelphia Flyers narrative.